Well, it's now New Year's Eve. It's the last day of 2010. Tomorrow's 2011. We have a full-on blizzard going on outside. It's down to 0 degrees. The wind chill minus 20. So it's back to indoor projects for a time here. So what I'm doing is working on boat parts. I got these portholes. So the one I've been cleaning up, these actually came from a wreck, an abandoned boat in the back of the boat yard in Channel Islands Harbor. And I've been carrying these around for over 15 years. This is the one I haven't started on yet. They're pretty crusty, but they are bronze. They're solid bronze opening ports, glass opening ports, and I'm going to have one in the head and one in the galley, because the problem with these things is that they tend to leak. You just can't get them to seal really good like you can a fixed port. But in the head's going to be sealed and with drain anyway because it's a shower. And over the galley it's a counter with a sink, so a little bit of leakage there is not going to hurt either. So that's what I'm doing now. I've got different grades of emery paper, starting out with coarse, and I've got some wetter dry. I'm working these things down. And then I got my brasso here. So I'm working on my brass, and by spring they ought to be pretty shiny. So that's one of my projects. Working down this brass. This has been another really fun project. It's my boat air horn. I was going to run a electric horn, but you know, the little electric horns don't really sound what I wanted. They're they're loud, but they sound more like a car horn. They're kind of puny, and the air horns that you buy for boats that have these little compressors, and they're pretty loud too, but they draw 20 amps and they can run your battery down pretty quick. And then I found on YouTube, when I was looking at boat horns and train horns, there's a fellow that's making them out of PVC fittings, and he's selling a book on eBay that shows how to do it. And I bought the book and I made a horn, an air horn, and they're made like a real air horn. They have the double metal diaphragms in the back, and they're made out of PVC fittings. And this is a piece of a funnel from a transmission funnel, and I needed it fairly short. I wanted as low a sound as I can get. You can tune them by the lengths of your outlet pipe and pressure on the diaphragm, and I wanted something that didn't take a lot of pressure because I want to run it with a hand pump. I don't want to have an air tank or a compressor. And I'm just thrilled to death with this. It just sounds really good. I really like the way it sounds. I haven't tried it with compressed air yet, but I can make a pretty good sound with it. I think it sounds really good. So anyways, Jani J air horn, made out of PVC, and it won't rust or corrode, and it works really well. I really like it. This is my experimental air whistle. It's also got the plans for this bought off eBay, but they were for a tugboat whistle, and it was a piece of 2-inch PVC, 15 inches long, and I couldn't get any sound out of it. It took a lot of air to blow it. I couldn't blow it with my mouth, but with using the compressor at work, it would really scream, and it sounded really good, but I think that might be a little big to put on the front of my boat, so I'm experimenting with this one. It's PVC. I can make any number of these, and you know, they're real cheap. Eventually I want to make the final whistle out of copper pipe, but it has a cutaway there, and then inside I got a piece of wood with just a little slit right by this opening, only about a 32nd. I had a 1/16 on the 2-inch, and like I said, I couldn't get any. I'm going to activate these with a hand pump, so I don't want them to be too high a pressure. So this one, I can actually get some sound out of it. Works a little better using the so anyway, something to play around with. And now I got to try them with some real air from the compressor and see how they do there. And then if I like the way this sounds, then I'm going to get some 1.5-inch copper pipe and make one. This is 13 inches long. You know, I think that'll be a pretty nice size to set up there right in front of right by the front windshield on the starboard side of the forward windshield, and have it piped in with the 1/2-inch copper piping and the set of valves so I can isolate them. And I'm building me a hand pump. I've got a 3-inch piece of stainless steel, 10 inches long, and I've just got to make a plunger and one-way valve. And that'll be more experimenting, but the heck, it's winter. I need something to do. I can't stay out in the shop for very long. So anyway, time to put some air on these things and see what they sound like with some real air. So that was great. His horn just sounds amazing. It sounds as good as any train or boat horn I've ever heard. Very loud. I guess I woke up the neighbors. But it's New Year's. They need to wake up anyway. The whistle worked really well, so that cinches the deal. I'm going to make a 1.5-inch copper whistle. It blows really good, and it doesn't take as much air as the 2-inch. 2-inch is nice, but I just don't have a compressor on the boat. Rounding out my sound producing devices, my bell. I've been carrying this around for many years. My mother gave it to me years ago to use on the junk, and I believe it to be off one of my grandpa's boats, so it could well be over 100 years old. But it sounds really good, so now it's going to be the bell on the Jani J. Got it all polished up and ready to go. So, entertaining myself on a winter day, waiting for spring, so I can put her in the water and go out and honk and toot and ding. Gotta have a honker, a tooter, and a dinger. Sound producing devices required by international law, so what the heck. And besides, they're really fun to play with. So now I gotta find some more stuff to do.